let you down. It's all about the people and the engines you can count on to turn it around. When you need them the most, they'll always be there.
Dark and grey, we'll be there to help you bring the sunshine. On the days when the rain is heavy, we'll be there to keep you nice and dry. Even if we ride on different rails, or drive on roads, or hoist our sails, no matter where you are, we'll always be there. We'll always be there. We'll always be there. Forever on the rails we ride, forever steaming by your side. Forever steaming by your side. Even on the days when we disagree, we ground ourselves in one simple fact. No matter what we run on, or what provides us power, we all run on the same track.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, everybody. I'm your host, Sir Stephen Topham the third at your service. Now we're going to be talking about unfinished business, because it isn't unfinished business, because the Norfolk Railway let you all down. Right? I'm not blaming myself on this one. You could blame the people that kicked you out. Right? I understand the company they think they are right now is running down the ground. Right? If you did a pie chart on their customers, the payments, and everything else, it all adds up in the end, as you know. Business, business, like it does. And then you think unfinished business, right? You think in the longer run, a lot of people will use common sense, right? To do certain things that are right rather than wrong. I think a lot of intelligence should have gone into this a lot more than just using common sense and everything else under the sun, right? A lot of people don't think like that today because they don't often see the bigger picture of it all. But if you really deep down, Duck said, don't go there. Right? You think, right, a lot of people that are not as intelligent or naive, as they put it, right, they don't think before they run, as they say. When they run, then they slip up sometimes, as they do. Right? A lot of you have gained a lot of experience. Sometimes you don't, half the time you don't. And it really drives you nuts to realise, why would a guy like me, as example, got the actual flaming boot? Right? I get it. A lot of people would say, why did he get the boot? And then you know there's a lie floating about, and you know it's rumouring around the stations. And the Norfolk Railway tells you, oh, we got this, we got that, we got this, we got that. That's what the Norfolk Railway always says. And I said, look, it's not an organisation anymore, so don't expect everything on a plate for the customers. The customers are moaning about the price, which they have a right to do so. But then it all comes back on me because I'm the one who's got to put it all right to fix it all up. But I was talking to Duck on a serious matter on this. This is not just unfinished business, right? This is all like I said. The Norfolk Railway will not think on their toes because they all boom boom, right? They don't think up here before they speak or how they can solve a problem. That's what you call naive people because they don't think on their toes. They don't think why, how, where, when. And it just doesn't completely add up with a lot of people, I know. For a lot of people in the community in the world, they all know it, right? All I'm doing is fixing and repairing right now. Why do you think I'm doing that? Well, because look at the way it's unfolded in front of you. Right? People know it's what's unfolding this in truth to a point. But there's certain points in the chain of command which they fucked up on, excuse my French, and it adds up, right? The truth of the unfinished business is going to come out and say, what? They can't go further than what they already have. So what happens? The business will drop, and the actual company, as they call themselves, will deteriorate through time as Duck quoted, keep away from the premises because all they losing is money. You think, right, a lot of common sense people, intelligent people, will just leave a place alone and bury it through their heads. Right, so they just wipe it off and go somewhere else. Right, I'm not wanting you to disappear from the area, just don't want you to go in it because if you spend too much, you will end up having a receipt of a lifetime say 300 quid here, thank you. That's all they care about, right? I was speaking to Duck on the highest note, right? And the diplomatical note as well, may I add. I said, look, Duck was right to tell you to say, stay away from the premises. Would you listen to him? No, because your common sense up here just doesn't feel right. So you're clouded. So what happens when people get clouded? Right? When people are on the internet, usually see what they see and they think that's what they're going to get at the end of the tunnel. I said, no, 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 no. Right, so what do we do with that little problem? I said the unfinished business is what's making it so diplomatically saying to you that the Norfolk Railway screwed up for this big reason to say we are not the same people you once knew, as they say. Right, I'm not blaming every Tom, Dick, and Harry. I'm talking about the management themselves because they screwed up. Right, what they've done is they've done it in a very uh, unorthodox route, if you like to call it. And I said, don't try that with me. Right, usually it will be me that be targeted last because they think I'm, you know, the way they see it, it's like their eyes and ears are like saying, blah, 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 blah. That's all they're doing with you. They're wiping you, they're wiping, in the end of the day, they're getting the points, right, in the wrong direction. They're probably sticking their heads in the toilets and not realised it. So what happens when it goes that way? My Duck said, let them fall, let them trip, let them slip up, because one of these days they will cry wolf and they will end up seeing why. Right, the unfinished business. I've spoken to Duck in full confidence. The reason I got booted out the way I did is because they've been lying, deceiving, and dishonesty. When people tell you so many times, 1,000 people against that, the cops should take that into consideration. Did the cops do that? No. So what happens when the cops cry wolf? Right, they go to the person that they think that's a major little target, right, and they ending up saying, I didn't realise right, let's say two cops came in here, as they normally did, and they said to me, I didn't realise there were 1,000 people that got booted out. check their records then, because that all goes in black and white in the end. Because they can't, by law, you cannot boot out anyone, volunteer or staff, right? And they also got it on paper with their names, their addresses, and their telephone numbers and everything else, and it all adds up, right? I guarantee you at the North Norfolk Railway they got it, right? They got the letter of mine as well on top, which the cops and my mother got as well. That's three. That's three people that know about that problem. So what happens when the problem has got like it's like saying to you out there, the community in the Thomas community, they will know this. Gordon, Henry, and James got rattled, really rattled. So what did they do? Gordon says they called me a galloping sausage. And then Henry quoted, "They call me square wheel, sir." And then James finalised it, "They call me rusty red scrap iron, sir." And what happens? It comes back to me, don't it? So what happens when they cry wolf? Right? You telling me this is all part of Duck's story? I said it was. And look at the new concept of the version of it. You see, I was speaking to Duck and I said, I spoke to him not in a rude way, not in a bad way, not in anything bad way. What happened? We had a little talk. It's just basically a simplified talk. Right? Duck then had his brain in gear at the time, and I said, "Look, think it over. Where you, it's like saying, it's like having a therapist teaching the therapist, right? Basically, it's like A and B, A and B. We have to work together to get that problem sorted, right? The unfinished business is we got rid of Diesel, but his wife could be still on the premises blabbing it all off. But you might end up with all the management saying the same thing, passing the buck. And then what happens? People got to use their heads to realise it's a falsified lie. I don't like my reputation to go under because of one flaming damn lie. Right? I'm telling you now. I've got eyes and ears in the Tyneside, I've got eyes and ears in the Albion, and I've got eyes and ears in West London. Do you think I've got eyes and ears in Norwich as well, and Lowestoft, and Great Yarmouth, and all of that area? I'm not gone boom boom, no way. What happened? So when Duck told his version of his story too early, which is where the mistake has been made, right, I cleared it up with him. He said, "Bing bella boom." When he's working, he has to work first before he can do anything else. Right, Duck has to do everything, but he's done it in a very unorthodox route. Right, so I'm telling you now. Right, let me give you a little heads up. Right, a lot of you know right from wrong. Right, the people that are intelligent will watch this video and realise how badly the North Norfolk Railway is badly stupidised. Right, Duck had a little think about this morning, or this afternoon I would say more likely, and he quoted, "Yeah, I should have been with you. Because Stevie's Diesel is a little shit, excuse my French." Right? And I said, "Look, he booted me out because there was usually the way the story was meant to unfold in truth for that just little segment. As you know, the story tells you that Duck was introduced by Diesel by me. Right? That's the fact. But the thing is, the fact got screwed up into split into two. Ding ding. So what happens? Right, let me give you another example because I know how rude the North Norfolk Railway can be. How rude do you think the North Norfolk Railway is? right? I'm going to put it in the comments because it is 100%, right? I'm going to put this in because it goes global. Once it goes boom, 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 then it goes what? Right? They were, because I'm going to keep doing this until they clear their heads out. The Norfolk Railway in general are rude at this present time. They've been selfish on a note as well, may I add. A lot of people know this from day one when the Norfolk Railway started to kick out all the volunteers and staff. I said, yeah, well, think about it. Now, a lot of people are going to ask this very serious question. Why? No, I'm going to support the 1,000 volunteers that got booted out beforehand. Now, let me give you a heads up on this, because unfinished business comes down in black and white. And I'm going to put in this, and I know a lot of people will agree. When we talk about money, they are. Let me just put this in, just to be honest. So expensive. Thank you. That just proves my point. So we have to realise that they are expensive now because they're classing themselves as a company that screws everybody up. So when they booted out nearly 1,000 volunteers and the employees on top, we got the memo so damn bloody quick. Ding, 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 ding. What happened? The Norfolk where they screwed up, that like I always have done. But they have been rude, selfish, and unkind. Another one which I can add. You know, it's not a joke, however. But you have to take what comes with this because it's no joke whatsoever in any angle. So when they are NNR are unkind, ding ding, because they are too expensive, which is true. Selfish is another one, and they're completely rude. So when you really want to think they always think they're always in the right, I said, how could they be if they already caused the problem to begin with? So, you know, in 2016, 17, and 18, I've been watching eyes and ears. I didn't need to do anything. I didn't even do anything wrong. Besides certain person as right, my mother really knew what was the problem. I said they've been all of this is caused by a chain of the way they've done it, right? Now look at the Norfolk Railway. They're charging you too much money. The Christmas specials, everything else, down the toilet. And when you look at this, you're gonna ask why. Duck's already prepared for this. I'm prepared for this. My mother's prepared for this, and I've got an insider as well. So watch your mouth when it all goes down pear shaped and tells you what. Yeah, the management are so bent. They don't know where they're coming or going at the moment. The trust is gone. The honesty is gone. The kindness they had is gone. Why? Because they booted out the wrong people. That includes myself, and then you're asking myself, why am I doing this? Think about it. There's some facts, There's truth and there's logic in this, in all of it. And it all lies down to one letter that screwed everybody up. Why, it happens to everybody, yes, I agree. But then they can't prove it because it's a lie. So where lies go to, when NNR lies, they go to prison. The best way to put it is saying they go to jail. Right? They go to jail. Why do they lie? Thinking they could get away with things that are very simplified. A small problem that the Norfolk Railway created through those 3 years is the smallest problem and detail that the cops didn't even realise what the hell's going on. They got the lie, they got the deceit, they got the dishonesty, which is true, I'm not going to lie on that. I said, yeah, well, look at it. There was no justice, which is true. But the reason I say there was no justice is because the Norfolk Railway didn't think. So every time the Norfolk Railway ending up telling you all these things from 2016 to all the way to 19, then you realise why they're screwing up, Then the company comes like boom, 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 boom. And then Duck said, then he quoted in his own words, I may have played the story correctly, but Duck was so far behind. Not far behind, he was too far ahead. So he was moving too quickly to understand why. So there was no justice for no one else. And then you're asking about me as well. That's making it double the justice. I said the justice system should have realised what is right. You know, when the cops saw that letter, they thought everything was like, oh, yep, okay, we take that, bang. Right? Someone was probably lying to the cops. Right? Without you realising that's called, with a word, it's the expression, is misleading. Misleading. When you got misleading the cops, that can say wasting police time, as it's called it. Right? They're calling misleading cops. Right? Which is true. I'm not going to lie on that. So if you really want an unfinished business, I tell you, I do have unfinished business. Because Duck is telling one side, I'm telling the other. Why? Because our stories are linked. Right? So what happens when Duck says, yes, I did screw up, but not in a good way for you, sir. So what happens when Duck says that, and he knows he was innocent, and so was I. That's 2 of us. Work around it. Misleading cops to make them go to prison. Right, when the Norfolk Railway are liars, as we know they are, I said they are rude, they are liars, and they're selfish. When the Norfolk Railway tells lies, right? Because they're not being completely honest with you because they didn't see the event happened, number one, which is true. Not all the employees or the volunteers at the time, they were completely innocent. So why go through all of this? I said the Norfolk Railways wasn't the same at the time, number one. A bank cop basically screwed the whole fucking lot up, excuse my French up, but that's what I'm trying to explain. When you know what's been rigged, right? Rigging is not the same thing. Rigging is like, when we talk about rigging, right? Right, we're not talking about rigging as like, how do I explain this in better terms? Yeah, well, NNR rigging the system, which is true. When we talk about rigging, it's like the system is what I call it, the system. When we talk about rigging the system, when it's talking about rigging the system is what I call it, right? It's like saying paying off somebody just to get people kicked out or banned out, whatever, right? When it's rigging the system, it's like saying, yeah, this is what they've been doing. The NNR rigging the system, which they've been doing for some time, right? That means they've been paying off cops to do certain things they should not be doing, right? Normally a justice system will not allow that, period, because it's not real. Right, how do I put this in lame terms, which is all true to a point. I said, when Duck was talking to me this afternoon, I had to explain to him what had to be fixed and what had to be played out during the time, and he says, yeah, I should have been there. Then it would have got the Davis Diesel at the time, and his wife, and the other one, and that will push them right out. Why? So when they ended up rigging the system during the 2016 to 2019, it's all adding up now. Right? It's all coming together slowly, like I said. Right? The Norfolk Railway will find a copy of that letter and they will say that's a lie. Because the lie may be stronger, but it isn't. Because what do they do when it's rigged? Rigging the system, rigging the justice system, rigging the law, breaking the law. And it's all like putting it all together. Like I said, the cops did not know what was going on and unfolding in truth. They can't tell, okay, we received this letter because that's what you got, right? My mother knows it's a lie. I know it's a lie. Duck knows it's a lie. Why? Ask yourself a question. Is the NNR are rigging the system from money to expenses of what you pay for your travel and all of that on top, which they are doing? Look at the way they're giving it to you. The intelligent people will back off and the naive people will always fall for the trap. Right? That's another thing, the reason why the Norfolk Railways had no empathy, no nothing in their heads at the time, and now look at it. The Norfolk Railway will end up, or the North Western Railway Company, as I know it. I said to you, the Norfolk Railway is failing. Just let it fail. So while the NNR are rigging the system, they're breaking the system. So breaking the system is what they are doing. breaking the system. Right? So with all of that saying, breaking the system, right, is what they are doing. So when Duck is getting the last piece of his puzzle right now, I just said to him, you should have been there when I needed you. Right? Now his head is worked it all out and said, you're innocent. Ding ding. He knows I'm innocent without no confusion or delay. Now ask yourself, NNR is rigging the system. Right? NNR lies to all. Right? Misleading cops. Right? It's the top priority of the justice system, isn't it? So what happens when the cops realise they got falsified info? That will not go in their favour, nor the Norfolk Railways. Why? Because they're holding false information. Which is what they've done. So it's false information. Holding false information. Because that's what they are doing. They misleading cops could lead them into trouble, which is true. So they play it by the injustice system, which is then the cops should have realised there and then what's being played out and what hasn't. Right? Eyes and ears everywhere. Right? Then the people start saying, why are they holding false information then? Work around it. A big book of the people's employees and volunteers that were booted, being rude at, and everything else, and make me take the full whack blame of it all. Then that's why I'm saying to you, they're holding false information. So what happened when they were doing, while they kicked me out and all the rest of us out? Then everybody that's working there now are gone cuckoo, 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 because they gone false information, holding false information about a lot of people that have good reputations on the line all the time for them, and they don't realise why. And I'm trying to help them, say you're holding false information, you're breaking the system, which is true. They're rigging the system right now because they're lying. Right? Norfolk Railway lies to all. Bang it on a nail. Right? They're misleading cops. On the top of that, I said, that's not going to go in their favour for much longer. I said, by misleading cops, they broke the law as it is. So you can tell yourself that what is justice from injustice? What's the difference between the two if you put it in two categories? Makes sense, don't it? So when I said there was no justice, there wasn't no justice in play. All there was is injustice and lies and deceits and dishonesty. But my mouth was being honest with the cops. So how can I go one way to the other? I can't do that. I have to be honest to get out of things. So while the NNR was been misleading the cops, there was no justice. So NNR lies, they go to jail, which they do. So they are get unkind. They are too expensive. They are selfish. Norfolk Railway are rude, which they can be. And it's real life in the end, which you have to see. I said, holding false information makes them go into misleading cops. Even if the cops have a copy or whatever, they're still holding false information that isn't true. So when they holding false information, my mother can't accept that, nor can I, nor can Duck, because we know what was meant to unfold. So when it's unfinished business, don't go to the Norfolk Railway for the Christmas dues. Because all they doing is asking 300 quid, £200. Why? Because I'm telling you the truth and they don't like it. Thank you very much. And if you go.